Let me tell you, if you'd told me 2 years ago that buying a rundown cabin at the edge of Pinefall Lake would end up with the feds storming a country club and an HOA president carted off in handcuffs, I'd have laughed right in your face. But I guess that's what happens when you mix a stubborn old dog, a power-tripping HOA, and a guy like me who never learned to back down when something feels right. I remember the first day like it was yesterday. Rolled in just after noon, my beat-up Ford coughing up gravel, the trailer groaning behind like it was regretting every mile. My Labrador Bentley half blind and all attitude stared at me like, "This better be paradise, boss." Cresting that last hill, I saw the place, my cabin, not just a cabin. It looked like it had survived 3 hurricanes, a divorce, and an angry squirrel or two, but it was mine. Moss on the roof, squirrels in the eaves outhouse sagging like it knew secrets, and the lake out front shining like a fresh start. I cut the engine, just breathing in the kind of silence you only get in the deep woods, real earned, quiet, not the kind of silence where you can hear someone yelling at their kids through drywall. I stepped out, boots crunching a breeze, shaking the trees like they were whispering, "Welcome home, man." Bentley hopped out, did a quick survey, and true to form peed on a bush like he was laying claim. Gotta respect that. First order business coffee. Propane hissed on the porch, chipped mug in hand, world slowing down just long enough to remind me why I bought this place. I did a lap checking all 4 boundary markers, flagged, stamped, GPS notarized, twice backed up on a USB. Even got the deed copy in my pocket. I thought I was bulletproof. I thought wrong. The piece didn't even last the first mug. Suddenly, tires tore up the drive gravel, spitting like someone declared war on my morning. Out barrels a black SUV, magnetic HOA badge flashing like a sheriff in a spaghetti western. Door flies open, and there she is, Karen in the flesh. Cream pantsuit, perfect blonde bob, HOA badge, swinging like she'd just been knighted by the queen of suburbia. Behind her, 2 guys in matching polos, faces stuck in permanent compliance. She didn't say hi, she didn't ask my name, she just barked, "You are on Echo Shores HOA land. Structures like this are not permitted. Vacate immediately." I honestly thought she was joking, like maybe there was a hidden camera crew. I looked down at my coffee, no mushrooms, just nerves. "Ma'am," I said, polite as I could manage, "I bought this from the state. The boundaries flag survey verified, and your jurisdiction stops a 1/4 mile that way." She narrowed her eyes, lips twitching like she'd bite through steel before letting me win. "That's a matter for the board. Until then, we expect compliance, or we'll contact law enforcement." Didn't even get through breakfast before the first threat, you know. But I pulled out my laminated survey, pointed to the line, and told her flat out, "You're trespassing. This is mine." She smiled cold and said, "Let's see how long that paper lasts in court." Then she and her minions sat at my gate for 10 minutes, glaring like they were sizing up a wild animal. That was my welcome party. Didn't sleep much that night. Not scared hell, I've camped with grizzlies, but there's a kind of unease when you realize the people with the most power aren't the ones in uniform. Next morning, right on cue, sheriff's SUV shows up. Deputy Carson Young, trying hard not to look nervous, comes up my steps, hand on his belt. I give him the Tor GPS satellite overlays auction deed, not a loose end in sight. He whistles, says I'm more prepared than most lawyers he's met. Says he'll file the report as a civil dispute, but warns me if they escalate, call us, don't go full Rambo. Spoiler, they escalated. Later that day, I get a poison pen email, no name, just, "This is not over." And just like that, I was on notice. Next morning, 6:43, I'm yanked out of bed by the chainsaw from hell. 7 people at my southern boundary, 3 in hard hats, 1 with a megaphone, 1 with a clipboard thicker than a New York phone book. Safety clearance, they call it. Mandated pruning. The only thing at risk was their egos. I told them they were trespassing, that I'd call the sheriff. One tried to shoulder past me, bad move. Bentley lunged. I grabbed his collar, but by then it was pandemonium. Fists flew, a clipboard went airborne, two guys crashed into the brush, and a chainsaw spun to a stop in the grass. Cue the sirens! Carson again. He looked at me, then the bruised crowd, and just shook his head like, why me? I handed him a flash drive labeled Assault and Lawn Drama. He said this wasn't just neighbor trouble anymore, suggested I file charges. I was already one step ahead. That's when Evelyn came in, land use, lawyer eyes, sharp as a hawk voice like a cold front. She listened, then grinned. We're going to crush them. She meant it. She dug up records showing Karen and her board had quietly redrawn the HOA boundary on their website, stretching a fake buffer right into my property, fake approval codes, missing meeting minutes, even a handwritten note about my cabin as a future pavilion. It was more than overreach. It was fraud. I filed complaints. Evelyn launched a lawsuit for trespass, assault, property damage, and fraud. Turns out Karen's safety crew was paid under the table with HOA funds. The environmental committee didn't exist in any state database. Then things got weirder. Neighbors started slipping me stories. Karen fined one guy $500 for a crooked boat trailer, another mom because her kid's sidewalk chalk was visual pollution. People were sick of it. The lawsuit hit like a thunderclap. Karen panicked, tried to weaponize the county zoning board, even claimed my land purchase was fraudulent. Evelyn's response: she's digging her own grave with a golden shovel. Meanwhile, someone poisoned my dog. Bentley survived, but that was the last straw. I added cameras, motion lights, the works. HOA tried everything, review bombed my business, spammed my phone, even set up hidden cameras pointed at my property. I started getting anonymous tips. Sharon, a board member, emailed me, if you need testimony, I'll come forward. But be careful, they're desperate. I sat on my porch with a shotgun across my lap, thinking, is this what independence costs? Then arson. I woke up to smoke. Boathouse ablaze, fire chewing up cedar like it was nothing. I fought it off with a garden hose and pure adrenaline until the fire department showed. Chief says I'm lucky 10 more minutes and the whole lake would have been burning. I showed him the boot print, the trail, the camera footage. Woman with a ponytail hoodie moving with purpose. The evidence landed in the hands of the ATF within days. That's when the feds raided Echo Shores, clubhouse, Karen's house, everything. Found fake maps, war room memos, even a flash drive labeled Project Clean Sweep, a full playbook for how to absorb outlier properties and neutralize opposition. Karen and 3 board members got arrested. One flipped, confessing to paying off the enforcement crew and cooking the books. In court, it wasn't even close. Evelyn laid out the fraud, the attacks, the defamation. Sharon took the stand, voice trembling but firm, describing how Karen bullied dissenters, diverted funds, and orchestrated the whole mess. Final nail, digital forensics showing Karen's computer made every forged file. Judge read the verdict like he couldn't get it out fast enough, guilty on everything. Karen got 14 years. HOA dissolved assets, liquidated every homeowner, notified you're free. I walked out of that courthouse lighter than I'd felt in years. Not cocky, just relieved. I spent the next 6 months rebuilding my boathouse board by board. No contractors, just me, Bentley, and a stack of cedar. Built a new dock with a west-facing bench and mounted a ship's bell from a flea market. Rang it the day I finished just to hear the sound echo. Echo Shores changed. Lawns grew wild, fences sagged, but people breathed easier. I even started getting mail from across the country, folks in their own HOA hells looking for advice. So I started a little nonprofit, the Freehold Initiative. Help folks fight back. Even got volunteer lawyers like Evelyn to join in. One evening, 3 pastel polo wearers floated up in a rental boat looking like they were scouting for a new crusade. I stood at the dock, coffee in hand, shotgun on my shoulder. We didn't say a word. After a long stare down, they turned and drifted away. Bentley thumped his tail like, yeah, that's what I thought. So here's my question. When does standing your ground become something more than stubbornness? When does it cross over into justice? What would you have done if it was your land, your home, your peace at stake? Drop your story in the comments. And if you're out there dealing with your own HOA nightmare, just remember sometimes the best way to win is to shine a light so bright even the shadows scatter.